morning. So today I wanted to talk about something kind of the opposite of what I've talked about in the past. So one of my earlier videos I did 5 things that I love about living in Prague. I will link that down below. And today I'm going to be talking about 5 things that I do not love about living in Prague. So the number one thing that I hate about living here in Prague is definitely how much people stare. I have never in my life experienced how much people stare at me here. And yes, I do understand I definitely look a little bit out of the ordinary sometimes when I wear my dark lipstick or my hair up like this. I don't look like the average person here, sure. But even when I'm dressed normally or anything, like if I'm dressed normally, if I'm going to work, whatever it is, people are still staring and people just don't look away when you acknowledge them. I've never experienced that before where someone stares at you, you make eye contact back, you acknowledge that they're staring at you, and then they keep staring. I don't know if it's just maybe not considered rude here, or maybe it is considered rude and people just don't care. I don't know. It drives me nuts, and it is not hard to choose that this is the number one thing that I hate the most about living here. So number 2 on this list is food. I definitely had a lot of difficulty finding foods that I do like here. One of the main things is the quality of meat in this country is very, very different than what I am used to back home. I did expect for it to be obviously different kinds of food and different quality of food, but I wasn't expecting to have so much difficulty finding good quality meat as I am having. I've kind of just given up altogether on eating beef because for the most part it doesn't taste good. So I've basically switched to only eating like pork or chicken, and I'm a big fan of beef, so that kind of sucks. Also, the junk food is not very good here, which, I mean, there's benefits to that obviously, but the candy here is not very good. It's kind of across the board in Europe from what I understand. The European candy is just not very good. Also, fast foods like McDonald's and KFC, they're pretty much everywhere here, and they do not taste anything like back at home. Which obviously there's different rules, there's different cultures and stuff, and like obviously different cultures like different types of food, so I didn't expect it to be the exact same, but the McDonald's here is horrible. KFC is okay, we shall say. And then even things like buying like chips. Not that I ate a lot of chips to begin with, but the chips here suck. Not the chips themselves, but the flavors. So paprika is the only one that I even really like, and you kind of get bored of that really quick. So just up the street there's a store and they sell the weirdest flavors. So they've got like 3 or 4, and it's paprika, wasabi, peppercorn, and something else just as weird, and it doesn't make any sense why those would be the few flavors that you carry, but it is. And then the other really, really weird thing to me about food is when you go grocery shopping here, a lot of times, like obviously back home, when you buy things like tortillas, the bag will close, like we'll be able to reseal. Nothing here reseals. So if you buy tortillas, you just have to wrap them in saran wrap, I guess. Or if you buy sour cream, for example, it doesn't have a lid. It's like a yogurt lid, so it's like the tin foil that you pull off, and then you can't reseal it. And obviously I'm not going to eat an entire container of wraps or an entire container of sour cream, so it just is kind of weird. They don't make it easy for you to keep your food after you've opened it. So number 3 on my list is definitely that people are not as nice here. Granted, I am Canadian and we are known for being very nice, so maybe I'm just really spoiled. But I have never lived or experienced the kinds of things that I experience here. So, for example, I live in an apartment building, and from back home, what I would normally do when you see people in an apartment building, like you'd see them in the elevators or in the stairs, you see your neighbors, you say hello. That's the norm for me anyways. And here, if I say hello to my neighbors, they kind of act like I'm a crazy person. So maybe that's just like a different cultural thing. But it's not just my neighbors, it's kind of across the board in a lot of different places. So if you're, out in trails, for example, if you smile at somebody, they look at you like weird, which normally when you're hiking, you see somebody every so often, you at least say hello or something like that. No, that's weird here. And people are definitely unfriendly about dogs also. So I have my husky here with me, and people don't, it's weird because I said in my last video that she's very accepted here in restaurants and bars, which is great, but a lot of people on the street act like she's going to murder them. And it's the strangest thing to me. And especially people with other dogs will not let their dogs play, and that's crazy to me. Like, they won't let their dog play with my dog, and I just don't understand it. So yes, it is very, very weird. Number 4 on this list is the shopping, like clothing shopping or shopping for your apartment. Granted, I might just be looking in the wrong places, but I have asked people from here for pointers on where to go. So basically, from what I understand, is if you want to buy things for your flat, go to IKEA. That's it. That's the only place to go. I'm sure there's obviously other places, but from what I can tell, IKEA is basically it. But for the most part, my issue is clothing shopping. When I moved here, obviously I flew on an airplane, I had to pack everything into a suitcase. I find that it's very, very expensive for clothing that I don't like and is horrible quality. So it is hard for me to find anything that I like, which of course that's a cultural thing. I like bright colors, I like crazy stuff, I don't want to wear a turtleneck, and I don't like loose fitting clothes. And here, that is what most people wear. They wear black, gray, basically sacks. I don't know how to say that any nicer, but people are wearing just like unfitted clothing that goes up to their neck and is very plain, and that is not something I want to wear, like, at all. I would never wear any of those things. So that is definitely something that I have had difficulty finding, is first of all finding clothes that I like, and second of all finding clothes that are of decent quality or even that aren't crazy priced. So to me, I'm very used to like little stores, and again, maybe I just don't know where to shop, but I'm very used to like the little stores like that you can buy kind of like disposable clothing, just like something, it's cheap and the quality isn't great, but you're gonna get 5 to 10 wears out of it, and that is enough because it cost you $5. Whereas here, I feel like the quality is no better. Sometimes it's worse. Like, I've got a few shirts that I bought and have holes in them after my second time wearing them, and they were, $15 for a plain black t-shirt. I don't know if I just don't know where to shop or what it is, but it has been very, very difficult for me to find anything that is nice and fits properly and not crazy expensive. So number 5 on this list is something that I may have kind of touched on in some of my earlier points, but it is the customer service here. So customer service is very, very different than what I am used to back home, and it's kind of across the board. So in grocery stores, convenience stores, when you're shopping for clothes, when you go to IKEA, when you go to bars, restaurants, any of it, it's very, very, I don't want to say bad customer service, but compared to what I'm used to, the customer service here is horrible. So, for example, if you go out to a restaurant or a bar, a lot of the time you're kind of basically begging to actually pay attention to you and bring you food and bring you drinks. And a lot of the time, if you're drinking alcohol, it's not as bad, but if you're drinking water or pop or whatever it is, it can be very, very difficult to get somebody to bring you your drinks. Like if you want a refill, and the drinks are like approximately this big, and to get a refill, which the refills aren't free, so it's not like that's the case, but if you want somebody to bring you a drink, then you kind of have to like beg them to come over to your table. It's not like back in, you know, Canada, or I'm sure the US is just the same, where they're kind of always talking to you, always at your table. That is not the case here. It's not just in restaurants and bars, as I had mentioned. Also, when you go shopping, if you ask somebody where something is, or if you ask somebody for help, then a lot of the time they don't. First of all, it's hard to find somebody in stores a lot of the time to help you, and a lot of the time they kind of just like stare at you like you're stupid. And yes, I do understand that I am, you know, not speaking Czech. I know the smallest bit of Czech to basically like apologize for the fact that I don't speak Czech. So yes, I do like apologize in Czech and then speak to them in English. Pretty much everybody speaks English, but they just don't really want to help you here, and it's just crazy to me, and I just don't understand how people make any money here, because it really makes me not want to go to restaurants or not want to go out to shop when the customer service is so horrible. Like, they make you feel bad for wanting to spend your money there. So it's definitely weird in comparison to what I am used to. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments down below and give me a big thumbs up. And if you have ever lived abroad or traveled abroad and you found some things that you thought were kind of weird or crazy, let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, definitely subscribe, because there'll be another one coming next Thursday.